Moving on to tell you a bit about the cyber threat landscape. The cyber threat landscape absolutely is an evolving issue. It's something that changes on a daily basis. What we're seeing right now are three distinct types of threat actors, and there's some overlap and some interaction actually between these groups. On the one hand, we have hackers, the traditional hackers that are attacking a company's systems and data for fun or sometimes for profit, stealing payment card numbers so they can engage in fraudulent activity or just causing some disruption internally. Hacktivists are another group, and I like to think of these as where hackers meet activists, hence the hacktivism term. The difference between hacktivists and hackers is the motive. Hacktivists typically are driven by some political or ideological or social motives that cause them to attack a certain type of company or a certain type of data or target certain types of consumers. And finally, nation states. As we've seen, for example, with the most recent Yahoo breach and the DNC breach, nation states are rampant, and they are often the most persistent and advanced types of threat actors that our companies are facing today. The types of information that are targeted and the types of systems that are targeted vary. Traditionally, we've thought of data breaches as a compromise of personal information, or PII. More and more, we're seeing that in addition to personal information, there is also a real risk to company confidential information, sensitive business information like research and development data, financial information, information about potential mergers and acquisitions. Threat vectors is how the actors are getting in. So we've just discussed the three different buckets of threat actors and the types of data and systems that they typically target. How do they get in? More and more we are seeing social engineering attacks being a primary source of threat activity. Phishing attacks, that's where emails are sent appearing to be from one sender, but really they're from the unauthorized party. And all it takes is just for one person to fall prey to the phishing mail and click on a link that causes malicious code or some sort of ransomware to be downloaded. We're also seeing tricks being played on representatives at help centers, help desks or call centers, or even representatives in HR. Attackers are contacting these individuals pretending to be the CFO or the CEO and instructing the representative to take certain action that would be not totally unexpected to be coming from that senior executive. And unfortunately, without proper training and education, company representatives can often fall prey to these types of attacks as well. We're seeing another threat vector used more and more is employee or vendors' employees' credentials being compromised. Typically, these credentials provide administrative access and administrative privileges so that if the attacker compromises those credentials, they have a pretty clear entry path to traverse the network as they wish. And then, of course, there's the traditional brute force attacks. Recent trends in the cyber threat landscape, we are hearing more and more about ransomware attacks. I think this is only the beginning. WannaCry was one recent example that impacted hundreds of companies around the world. We're also continuing to see things like wire transfer scams and cyber extortion.